So the ontology, the realness of magic for me is something that I've been aware of for many years, at least since my first encounter with Quechua healer, Maestro Orlando Chuandama of the ayahuasca traditions, and started learning about and experiencing these altered states of consciousness that had access to realms where magic is just the normal course of business in those realms. And so this has been many years where my own personal experience with magic has been really present, and learning from the great lineage traditions, mostly in the medicine traditions, less so in the Western Crowley esoteric tradition, Blavatsky and that crowd. So it was really cool to read this book, which is approaching it from and it's not excluding, but it's approaching it from a lot of the Western magic kind of concepts and seeing how they apply to some of the understandings that I've had and experienced in my own ceremonial context and even outside of ceremony. So I wanted to ask you, though, first, because not everybody's going to be like me and have had experience that allows them to know in their body with full gnosis, to grok, if you will, that magic is real. So how would you define magic?
Well, first of all, I'm looking at it from a scientific perspective. And I do that because, first of all, I'm a scientist, but secondly, science is a way of gathering objective data about the nature of the world. And if magic only persisted as a subjective experience, then it would not be surprising why a lot of people would say, well, that's good for fantasy, but it's not real, because we equate real with objective, measurable events. So my understanding then of magic is that, first of all, it requires a different worldview than the worldview of science. Science starts with everything is matter and energy. It's reductive materialism. It's really, really good at understanding the nature of the external world, physical world. But it is not very good. In fact, it's not very good at all when trying to understand subjective experience or things having to do with mind or consciousness. So from a scientific perspective, a lot of scientists would say magic, traditional esoteric type magic, cannot exist, because from that perspective, you are literally your brain. You are your physical brain, and that's the end of the story. There's nothing else.